Today we're going to look at something that can benefit all of us at some point, what not to do with a new job. Whether just out of high school, starting your career fresh out of college, or you've been in the workforce and are just switching jobs, keep these tips in mind throughout your first year. We'll go over 4 tips and then make sure to stay until the end where we'll go over the one thing that is most important when starting your new job. The first mistake is not looking at the details of your paycheck. Everyone looks at their first paycheck, but most people don't look at it in as much detail as they should. With the first few paychecks you receive, you should first check to make sure they're paying you correctly, but second, figure out what your gross pay is versus your net pay. How much your paycheck is for versus how much your take-home income is. Once you figure out what that difference is, figure out what is making up that difference. Everyone pays taxes, so that's going to be part of it, but how much of the difference is from your benefits? Now, there's not much you can do about taxes unless you want to take home less income, but you can do things about your benefits. You can almost always adjust the amount you're putting into your retirement. With your insurance, you can either adjust in the next year or you can adjust during the year when your company's effective date happens and you need to reselect your benefit. Knowing this, especially at an in-depth level, will help you plan over time. The second mistake is just forgetting to use your benefit. Gym membership discounts, cell phone discounts, wellness programs, the list goes on and on. Some companies have discounts at local restaurants. Use these to your advantage. Some of those discounts can add up to hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year. You may think about changing your phone coverage because you can get a discount with a different carrier. Many companies have a wellness program, and you can earn money or rewards by logging into an app while you work out, something that you may be currently doing. So figure out what those discounts are and use them, especially if they're places you already go and use. The third thing is don't forget about your benefits, the important ones. The previous tip is for discounts and things if you want to use but aren't as beneficial. Some companies have benefits that have an expiration date. PTO is a big one. Some companies have PTO that go away if you don't use them, or they stop accumulating once you reach a certain number of hours. Make sure to use those because it's free money. If you don't use, say, 3 days of PTO, it's 3 free days of being paid and not having to go to work that you can't get back. There's also FSAs, or flexible spending accounts, which may be part of your health insurance benefits. If you don't use this money within the year, you lose it, and a lot of times you can use these pretty liberally, so you don't have to, say, have a medical emergency to use this money. So figure out what you can use it on and go out and use that money because it's free money and you lose it if you don't use it. Now, the fourth mistake is not setting a budget, and this is associated with the first one that we went over. This is going to do 2 different things. 1, it's going to help you keep track of your finances so you don't overspend, and 2, it'll help you see if anything changes. For example, student loans usually don't need to be paid right away, so your first month and your 10th month, you may be spending more on bills or loans. And with something like student loans, you'll have to take the first few months to make sure you have budgeted in those future payments or future costs. It may be better to have a budget that's pretty loose at first because things will change over the first few months while you get situated in your new job. Before we go into the last mistake, make sure to like and subscribe so you can see all the latest videos when they come out. The last mistake is probably the biggest thing you shouldn't do, and that's going out and buying a whole bunch of big, expensive items. When you get a new job or a promotion, those numbers seem so big, but they're actually not. And I see people buying new things with their new salary, not understanding that their salary won't go as far as they think it will. Take the first year to see how far your salary will actually take you. After that first year, then you can start spending some of that money. Again, many people don't understand how much they'll spend and overestimate how far their income will go. Remember, you should have insurance, you should have retirement, and you should be saving. And then after you've started doing those things, that's when you can go and you can spend some of that money that you've been saving. This is what these other points we've gone over will help you do. If you spend the first 6 months seeing how much you can get away with and how far your check can go, making decisions later on will be much easier. And not buying these things right away means you should have some money saved so that you should be able to buy these things later on. You can put down a large chunk of money and overall, you'll pay less for those things. And this doesn't mean don't go buy anything, just don't buy big ticket items. If you have to have a new car to get around, buy a used one instead of a brand new one and drive that for a couple years. If you need to move to an apartment that's similar price to the one you currently live in. Now we've got over 5 different tips that can help you out when you start a new job of things not to do. And hopefully you've learned some things and you can use these when starting a new job, or at least help you think about things as you go through that first year. And if you have learned something, again, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.